Oh, sorry guys, it's freezing. It's absolutely freezing. And you wouldn't believe it, would you? Because we've just had so much sun lately. Really, really hot days. In fact, what was it? Like a solid week of serious, serious heat. Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one. Really, really tricky. But that's the whole point of being here. I've never fished here before. It's pretty horrific weather. And so I can't really think of anything better to be able to showcase a product that is all about creating you more confidence than this venue at this specific time. So today we're going to be looking at the German rig. To be absolutely honest with you, a pre-tied rig is to build your confidence and your understanding of the tackle and the tackle components needed for catfishing. Under no circumstances am I ever going to say that this rig is better than that rig. It's not going to happen. I'm never going to say that. I'm just being completely transparent and honest with you. No rig catches you more fish than others. No, that's not the case. It's all about your location. But for you guys and girls that are coming into catfishing, you know, you might not have ever used a hook link that thick and a little bit like, oh God, especially coming from carp fishing, or maybe even a bait that big. Even though it's very similar, you may not have the confidence in it because you haven't done it. And that is exactly what these pre-tied rigs are about. You're gonna be very familiar with them anyway. And then once you've built your confidence with it, it's like, you know what, actually, this hook, that's a banger on this venue with that bait. You know what, this hook link, yeah, I've had several fish now and there's not even a bit of fray on it. I'm here today, fingers crossed, okay, fingers crossed, to show you that actually you're confident with your rigs and your bait placement, your bait application, everything. Once you're starting becoming more confident at things, you're gonna have a successful session. Anyway, copper is nice and wrapped up, really, really wrapped up, bless her, because it is cold, really cold and wet. Nothing worse is there. So yeah, I'm gonna get a brew on and then, yeah, we're gonna go from there. Whilst I was sitting here making a brew, I was looking out and I was watching a couple of ducks constantly dive on a spot, and then all of a sudden it very quickly fled. Now, in my experience, is when that does happen, it's because something has come in. Now, that could be a carp, it could be, and it can easily be a carp as well. I've experienced it several times over in Germany. The big telltale sign for me is as they are, you know, trying to retreat off that spot, get away from the spot, they're then looking behind and they keep almost like watching their back as they're moving off. Making sure that you're applying that to catfishing as well, because it's absolutely landed me a few fish in the past. I think there's just a lot of bait still in this lake. A lot of bait in this lake still. So yeah, how challenging I thought it was, it's feeling a bit like it's going to become even more challenging. But anyway, I'm going to have the brew, wait for this weather to, you know, get a little bit better. There's a few breaks in the day, and then after that, get the rigs out, get some baits on there, and yeah, carry on with the session. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get warm. It's freezing. There is a huge amount of pressure on all waters in Britain. There just is, and we're not going to get around that, and if anything, we're going to see more and more pressure. So this is another reason why I absolutely love using the German rig, because I can change my hook size, my bait sizes from, you know, the very standard 20mm pellet with half a 20mm pop-up on it, all the way down to a 15mm pellet and a 15mm pop-up cut in half on top of it. Exactly the same, but just smaller. And I've found that over the years, switching to those smaller baits can certainly, and has certainly given me a lot more fish on the bank. And even customers that have, you know, been ringing and emailing for a bit of advice because they've been struggling here and there, you know, I've said to them, don't necessarily just follow the mainstream media, okay? If your brand new hook bait that is that size is over the top of bait that's been out there for hours and hours and multiple amounts constantly getting broken down, but they're not taking your hook bait, then change your hook bait. It's not necessarily the rig, it's never the rig that catches the fish, it's the presentation and the bait application that catches the fish with inside an optimal location for all of it to work together, okay? So that's just the honesty, and that's my personal opinion in angling in general, not just catfishing, but everything. You can either go for the long shank in 3/0 or the short shank in 1/0. Now, there's not much difference in that size at all, okay? When you look at the actual bends on both hooks, they're very, very similar. They may be a millimetre in or out on that. The only difference is the length of the actual shank itself for the long shank. That's the only reason why it's bigger, really. The short shank has a slightly thicker wire gauge, so if you're snag fishing and you think, you know what, that cat might get around the island, I personally, it's down to you, obviously as an angler, but I personally would use a short shank. But if I'm fishing in open water and I haven't really got any snags in front of me, like a lot of waters in Britain, then I think I'd be going for a long shank. But as an angler, you know, you're going to make that decision yourself. Right, let's get some bait on, and I'm going to be able to show you something, because inside these ready-made rigs, there is a packet of hook beads. These hook beads are not necessarily just to be put in on the actual hook itself. They're also intended for presentation of the pellet. Don't be throwing them away. Most of you know this already, how to actually put bait on a German rig. But if you don't know, let's say you've come from more of a predatory world, so the pike fishing world, all we're doing now is taking 12 to 15 pound monofilament. Going to be sliding that through the ring swivel. I like to pull it nice and tight so it creates a bit of a V, so then I can let go and it stays. Then what I want to be doing is taking a bait of my choice. I have these two baits here ready to go, and that is half a 20mm pop-up, okay, little pink one, and a full 20mm pellet. Now on the pellet, hopefully you're going to be able to see this, there's a flat end and a very slight rounded end, okay? The flat end, we want to be putting the flat side of the pop-up up against it. And because they're two flat sides, two flat edges, they just sit really neatly together, okay? So then you want to be putting your baiting needle through it together. Now, little tip is, try and put it together, put the baiting needle through both of them together so everything's a little bit more smoother, okay? Rather than the pop-up offsetting to one side, and yeah, it's not gonna, the presentation is really optimal, okay? Not necessarily the bait itself, it's more the presentation. Now, the hook beads that I was talking about. The hook beads, I'm gonna have to put a close-up on this so you can actually see it, because these are incredibly small. The hook beads have a long cylinder side, and then they also have a flat side, almost like a top hat. Okay, that long cylinder side, you want to be putting on your baiting needle first, like so. And then what happens is, you might be able to see it, there you go. Then what we do is, we're going to slide that all the way, and that is going to go inside the pellet. Like that, look. So the long cylinder section is now inside the pellet. So now you're going to be able to see all three together. Okay, so there's your hook bead, pellet, and then the topper. What we want to be doing is very, very slightly just ease the hook bead onto the ring swivel. It grips it nice and tight, but then because that cylinder side is inside the pellet, it also plugs it. So from now, once we've got it like that, we're just going to be doing some overhand knots. Okay, very, very slightly. You don't want to be going overkill. You don't need to be pulling it tight. You just want enough on the first one to create a little bit of an indent in the top of the pop-up. and that will then make sure that the ring swivel stays inside that hook bead. Now, you can stop this however you like. You could put a pellet stop on it, a boilie stop on it. You could do whatever you want. You could blob it, whatever's best for you. After 3 or 4 overhand knots, I just use a lighter and then I'm just blobbing it down. And that's it. There we go. So a very nice, neatly presented rig there that the bait could just go up and down the shank very easily. Okay, very cool. Predominantly, this is the normal size that you're going to find in lakes. So I want to be a little bit different, and that's what's so good about the German rig. I can swap sizes instantly without having to worry, is that hair too long for this, or is it too long for that, or is it not short enough? Whereas the German rig, it really allows me to be incredibly sufficient. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to crack on with this, get those back out, and then hopefully later on, hopefully sooner than later on, we'll be able to have a look at a fish on the bank. Here we've got short shank. There you go. Beautiful. Straight in the scissors, that one. There you go. 24 hours, not a bleep, nothing at all, not a bleep. So having that confidence, like I keep saying, it does pay off a huge amount, because without a single beep, I'm sure many people, including myself at one point in my angling also, would have been changing everything, swipping and swapping, but getting the confidence in the tackle, that's what I talk about, you know, with the pre-tarred rigs. You're going to get that confidence, you're going to get the confidence that when you do get a bite, those hooks are going to nail it. When you do get a bite, the abrasion resistance in the hook link, it will survive. That is what these pre-tied rigs are about, give you that confidence, okay? Not massive, but beautiful, eh? Beautiful. Gorgeous. Little kink in its tail at the bottom. Really nice. Which is funny, you see that on quite a few river cats. Yeah. Very interesting. Right, we'll pop this one back. It might be end of session, to be honest. Right, it's definitely the end of session for us. We are very wet, very cold. But hopefully it's been really enjoyable for you, and hopefully, you know, you've got a bit more of an insight as well on the CAT-TEX German rigs, especially with that hook bead going onto the ring swivel. Absolute wicked little touch that is, isn't it? It's going to help a lot of you out, The confidence in all of those little bits within inside the German rig, that has given me, without a doubt, they give me the confidence to leave that rig out there, knowing that it's in the right position, it's in the right location, and that when I do get a take, it's going to result in 99.9% of the time for me a fish, and that's exactly what's happened. So yeah, from us, we're going to leave you, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you take something away from it, and have fun. See you next time. Bye bye. Say bye. Say bye to the camera. Say goodbye.